Welcome, bienvenidos, benvindos, to the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here, the only English language podcast devoted to South America's premier club competition. I'm your host, Howard Hamilton, the founder of Soccermetrics. After a week away, the Copa Libertadores is back in action. And as we approach the midway point of the group stage, the 32 teams get sorted into two groups, those who have it and those who don't. And it's not too late to make a turnaround, but the time to course correct is this week. In this episode, I'll go through the matches that will be played this week. But first, let's start with news from the Libertadores. And the big news around the competition is that Barcelona and Sao Paulo have new managers. Barcelona SC fired Uruguay manager Diego Lopez on Sunday after their 1-0 victory against El Nacional. It was a victory that left doubts about the club's performance, even though that result left them in sixth place in Ecuador's Liga Pro with 2 matches in hand. Diego Lopez said after the match that the Clásico, which is Barcelona's match against Emelec, did not interest him at that moment. Rather, the match against Sao Paulo was more important. Well, on Monday, the board of Barcelona fired him. It's an interesting decision on the part of Barcelona's board because Lopez had just renewed his contract about 5 or 6 weeks before. So as a result, the club will have to pay a 6-figure sum in compensation. Diego Lopez's final record with Barcelona is that after 9 months in charge at the club, he attained 13 wins, 9 draws, and 3 losses across all competitions. Last Monday, the club announced the arrival of Argentine manager Ariel Holan. The 63-year-old previously managed Defensa y Justicia, Independiente, Santos FC of Brazil, León of Mexico, and Chile's Universidad Católica on 2 occasions. Holan's honors include winning the Copa Sudamericana with Independiente in 2017, the Chilean Primera División with Católica in 2020, and the League's Cup with León in 2021. Holan won't be on the sidelines for Barcelona's Libertadores match. Rather, Germán Correia, an assistant under Lopez, will serve as interim manager. Holan takes over on April 29. Sao Paulo FC fired Thiago Carpini last week, and Luis Siveldia, 43-year-old Argentine, took over last Sunday. He was quoted as saying, "It's a big challenge to manage Sao Paulo, as you all know, but every club that I've managed has been a big challenge," end quote. One of Sibeldia's big challenges will be to figure out what to do about James Rodriguez, who has been with the team since July. Sibeldia will start his tenure at Sao Paulo in the Libertadores against Barcelona. That's the news from the Libertadores, and that's the end of part 1 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show. In part 2, a preview of match day 3 of the group stage. Part 2 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here. We'll preview the 16 matches that make up match day 3 of the group stage, and we'll start with Group A. In Group A, Cerro Porteño hosts Fluminense on Thursday. It's their first meeting in the Libertadores since a round of 16 encounter in 2021. Cerro are currently second in Paraguay's Primera, while Fluminense are in 10th place after 3 matches in the Brasileirão. The one injured player for either team in this matchup is Alan Benitez, who will be out for Cerro Porteño. It's a top of the table clash, as Fluminense currently lead in Group A with 4 points, while Cerro Porteño are a point behind. In the other match, played on Tuesday, Colo-Colo hosts Alianza Lima. Colo-Colo are currently 7th in Chile's Primera División, while Alianza are 3rd in Peru's Liga Una. Colo-Colo have to deal with a suspended player, as Eric Wimberg received a red card in his previous Libertadores match. In Group B, Barcelona hosts Sao Paulo on Thursday. As mentioned in Part 1, it's an encounter featuring new managers, or rather a new manager and interim manager of either club. And it's the first Libertadores encounter between either team in 32 years. Sao Paulo are currently 14th in the Brazilian top division, while Barcelona are in 6th place in Ecuador's Liga Pro. Sao Paulo are dealing with a massive injury list, as Rafinha, Luis Gustavo, and Joao Moreira are injured for El Tricolor. In the other Group B match, Copersal will host Talleres in northern Chile. Talleres are currently out of the Copa de la Liga and are awaiting the start of the league campaign in Argentina, while Copersal are currently 14th in Chile's Primera División. Copersal are bottom of Group B with 1 point, while Talleres are in first place with 4 points. On to Group C. And Group C will feature one of the featured matches in this week's slate of group matches. Estudiantes host Gremio on Tuesday. It's their first meeting since a round of 16 encounter in 2018. Gremio are in 5th place in Brazil's top division. Estudiantes are in the semifinals of the Copa de la Liga, and they have won 5 matches in a row across all competitions. This is a match that Gremio needs to win. They are bottom of the group with 0 points. A loss to Estudiantes will make it very difficult to climb back into a top 2 place. Estudiantes, in the meantime, need to manage their squad. They have demands in Libertadores. They have a key semifinal match on the weekend in Copa de la Liga against Boca Juniors. So they have important matches that they won't be, in which shuffling your squad will be a bit of a challenge. In the other Group C encounter, Huachipato will face the strongest on Wednesday. This is the first meeting between both sides in the Libertadores since a group stage match in April of 1975, so almost 50 years since either team has met each other in a Libertadores match. Huachipato lead the group on 4 points, and they are currently ranked 11th in Chile's Primera División. The strongest are in the semifinals of Bolivia's Apertura tournament, and they're coming off a 1-0 victory against Universitario de Vinto in the first leg of the semifinal. Group D sees Junior face Liga de Quito on Tuesday in a first ever encounter in a Libertadores match. Liga are currently 5th place in Ecuador's Liga Pro, while Junior are 7th in Colombia's Apertura with 1 round to go. In the Apertura competition in Colombia, 8 teams go on to a playoff phase. Liga are dealing with a number of players on their injured list, including Sebastian Gonzalez, who suffered a meniscus tear, and Marco Angulo, who is out for the season after tearing his cruciate ligament in a match against Botafogo in the Libertadores. Botafogo, for their part, hosts Universitario on Wednesday in another first ever meeting of teams in the Libertadores. Botafogo are currently bottom of the group with 0 points, while Universitario share first place with Junior on 4 points. And this is a match that Botafogo has to win. They are coming off a relatively positive streak. They have won their last 2 matches in the Brazilian Championship, so they are in first place. They are in third place in the Brasileirão. Universitario are currently unbeaten and in second place in Peru's Liga Una. The main player on the injured list for either side is Christopher Gonzalez for Universitario with a muscle tear that he sustained in Universitario's Libertadores match against Liga de Quito. Group E. Group E contains another one of the featured matches among this week's group stage encounters. Bolivia's Bolivar hosts Flamengo on Wednesday. It's the first meeting for either club since 2014 in the Libertadores, and it's a top of the group clash. Bolivar are currently first place in the group on 6 points. Flamengo are second on 4 points. Bolivar were eliminated from the Torneo Apertura playoffs in Paraguay, in Bolivia, rather, losing 2-1 aggregate to San Antonio. Flamengo are currently second in the Brasileirão on goals scored from Bragantino. An interesting thing to note is that Flamengo have never earned a point in La Paz. So a victory for Bolivar would go a long way toward consolidating their leadership of the group and would all but assure their presence in the round of 16. The other Group E encounter is Palestino against Millonarios on Thursday. It's the first ever meeting between both teams in the Libertadores, and I consider this match to be a true 6-pointer. A loss for either side would seriously compromise their ability to advance in South American competition. Palestino are currently bottom of the group, Millonarios are third. Palestino are currently in second place in Chile's Primera División, while Millonarios, with a round left to play in Colombia's Apertura tournament, are in sixth place. Delvin Alfonso for Millonarios is suspended from this match because of a red card that he received in Millonarios' previous Libertadores match. In Group F, Liverpool de Montevideo will host San Lorenzo on Tuesday, another first ever meeting between both sides in the Libertadores competition. This is also a 6-pointer encounter. Both teams are bottom of Group F with 1 point. Liverpool are currently 9th in Uruguay's Primera División, while San Lorenzo was eliminated from the Copa de la Liga playoffs and are awaiting the start of the league competition in Argentina. San Lorenzo's Cristian Ferreira is injured and will not feature in this encounter, while Enzo Martinez for Liverpool received a red card in the previous Libertadores match and is suspended for this match. The other Group F encounter is another one of the featured matches this week, in which Independiente del Valle will host Palmeiras. It's a top of the group encounter. Both teams have 4 points, and it's the first time that either team has met each other in Libertadores since a group stage match in 2021. Palmeiras are currently 11th place in the Brasileirão, while IDV are second place and unbeaten in Ecuador's Liga Pro. Unfortunately, IDV will have to deal without the presence of Junior Sornosa, who tore his calf muscle in a recent match and is out for at least 6 weeks, meaning that he is out for the remainder of IBV's group stage campaign. In Group G, Atletico Mineiro will host Peñarol on Tuesday in a group stage encounter for the first time since 2000. Atletico are currently 7th place in Brazil's top flight, while Peñarol lead Uruguay's Primera División. It's a match in which Atletico, Atletico have been playing extremely well in Libertadores competition, and they're seen as strong favorites as they face the Uruguayan Giants. The other Group G encounter is Caracas FC against Rosario Central on Tuesday, in a first ever meeting between the two sides in the Libertadores competition. Rosario Central have been eliminated from Copa de la Liga, while Caracas lie in 11th place in Venezuela's Apertura competition and are out of the playoff phase. Caracas desperately need a win. I'm not really sure if they can get it, but they need a win to have any chance of advancing in South American competition. All of the injuries faced by either side in this encounter are on the Rosario Central side. Francis McAllister, Damian Martinez, and Maximiliano Lovera have injuries and will not feature in this encounter. Following in Group H, Libertad of Paraguay will host River Plate on Wednesday. The last time these two teams met in a Libertadores encounter was a quarterfinal tie in 2006. River were eliminated from Copa de la Liga last Sunday after losing 3-2 to Boca Juniors. Libertad are currently first place in Paraguay's Primera División and are unbeaten in that competition. Is this a must-win for River Plate? River are leading the group, but Martin Di Michelis has faced significant criticism for his team's play in recent competitions. He has received support from the board, which could be a poison chalice, but it's always a nice thing to have. Libertad will want to press their advantage and will want to win this match in order to have any chance of finishing first in Group H. In the other match, Uruguay's Nacional will play Deportivo Táchira on Wednesday. The last time these two teams met in the Libertadores competition was a round of 16 encounter 20 years ago. Nacional are currently in 3rd place in Uruguay's Primera División, while Táchira finished 9th in Venezuela's Primera División and are out of the playoff phase. Táchira currently have 0 points in the group, and this is a must-win for that side, but they are entering a very difficult situation, having to achieve that victory against the Uruguayan side at Estadio Centenario. That wraps up the preview of the 3rd match day of the Copa Libertadores group stage. And a reminder that you can stream every match of the tournament on Fanatiz or Fubo Sports. If you prefer to listen to radio broadcasts in Spanish or Portuguese, many clubs and affiliated radio stations stream their broadcasts online or on YouTube. If you want to follow me and send a comment or question, my X or Twitter handle is @Soccermetrics. You can also send questions or comments to @SoccerDownHere or to Jason Longshore at @Longshoe. We will answer your questions about the tournament in a future episode, and we do appreciate your comments as we strive to make this show better. I'll be back late on Thursday to recap match day 3 of the Copa Libertadores group stage. This has been the Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here. See you later. Hasta luego. E hace más.